Couple of years down the road, you are leaving a charity gig. A few years down the road, really you've gotten really into like giving back, you know? Um, you start doing a lot of fundraisers, uh, charities, stuff like that. You found that like there's something about you doing stand-up comedy that makes people want to give.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It took a second for you to notice, like you just kind of started doing it because you were like someone offered you, hey, you want to do 20-minute set at um this benefit for kids with big ears, and you're like,
No, I don't. Those shows are the fucking worst, man. Benefit
so
shows like that, it's never a good environment for comedy.
so yeah, that's the thing. And you kind of say that to him, but he's like, no, don't worry, man. Like, these guys know what they're in for. You know what I mean? Like they know this is a comedy show. This isn't a thing where you go up and you say, you talk about what, having big ears means to you or like whatever. It's just a straight up comedy show, you know?
So this is going to be like at a comedy club,
Yeah,
and it's a normal show. It just happens that the proceeds are benefiting this charity.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be at the this place called Looney Time Comedy Club
God. Okay.
and Fisherman's Wharf.
What?
So, Looney Time is the only comedy club that's located like on like the wharf, you know? And so part of the thing is that they get the freshest seafood in town.
It's part of the thing.
Yeah, that's part of the thing. And so and then like some of the people there like they do hire some of the fishermen. That was like part of their deal to be allowed to build there, is that like, these are union guys, you got to give them some work. So some of the waiters there are like, these like just sea
Union
marred,
fisherman.
yeah, union fishermen, just guys who have just spent more time on the sea than they ever did on land. They're like, they're just like, yar, what'll it be for ye this evening?
That's how they all sound.
Some of them do. I mean, not all of them, but
I
like
mean,
there's a few of the older ones do. They have that classic like sailor accent that just kind of isn't around anymore
that's a
because
pirate
of
accent you're making. You said yar. That's the beginning of it.
pirates or sailors. And so so that's a little odd, I guess, but it's usually a really good club, you know. They usually, they pack it out. They actually flew in specially for this gig. They flew in Michael Park from Austin, from the Velveeta
Oh
Room, to
yeah.
like help bark people in. So like, people are walking by and he's like, great seafood and laughs for a great cause. Yeah, there's a
Michael is
kid.
barking from the wharf
Yeah,
on the boardwalk, I presume.
yeah. And he's still wearing the beret, but he's like dressed like a fisherman, basically. You know what I mean? Like he
He's
looks
got
like
on
he's
like
Michael Park looks like he's about to go try to kill Moby Dick. You know what I mean?
he's got on waiters,
Yep. He's
that
grown
that
a
whole
beard
thing.
especially for it. He's like,
Oh man.
it took me 2 days. So he's out there helping out, and there's at the end of it, you're talking to the organizers. Um, it's organized by this guy. Uh, he's known as Merle the Pearl because he has the pearliest white teeth that you've ever seen. And he is not shy about showing them off.
He's just an
Those
event organizer.
He's got just a set of chompers that so pearly white that like when you look at them, it's almost like you can see your reflection in them. So Merle the Pearl is this guy who's putting this on. He's normally he does like concert promotions and stuff like that, but he's like, yeah, this is going to be for a good cause. And at the end of it, you're talking to Merle the Pearl, and you're like, oh, how'd everything go? And he's like, man, we raised like probably a good 15 grand more than we projected. And you're like, oh, that's good to hear. And he's like, yeah, man, awesome. Yeah, you did a great job, man. Thanks. And then they're like, yeah, it's a fundraiser, so obviously, we can't pay you. But
Sure.
he's like, here's a gift card. He gives you a $75 gift card to the Darden Family Restaurant Group.
Okay.
And when you take it from him and you put it in your wallet, you just start singing to yourself, Darden Family, da, 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 da. Get up, everybody, and sing, sing.
Da-da-da. Yeah, I love it. Big
So
fan of the Darden family.
yeah. So about a week later, you get a phone call from this woman. She's like, "Oh, hi, Aaron. I got your information from Merle. He said you did a great job doing this charity gig. Yeah, we're wondering if you can help our cause out." And you're like, "Sure, whatever." And it's a it's a it's a fundraiser to benefit the colorblind.
I'm not just gonna be doing charity events after charity events for they're notoriously bad shows.
Right, but at the end of the day, you're like, stage time is stage time, baby.
Yeah, but
So you do it. And at like as you're telling jokes, you kind of look out and you see that people are like, people are definitely laughing, but you see people like taking out checkbooks and like writing stuff, you know what I mean? Like you see people like pulling out cash. You're kind of like, this is odd. And by the end of it, you're like, hey, how'd you guys do? And they're like, Aaron, man, we raised $275,000 for the colorblind tonight.
holy shit.
And she looks at you and she's like, great job. And you're like, my lady,
Thanks.
and you leave. And
I don't doff my cap and say "milady" at her.
as
Jesus
soon as as
Christ.
soon as you do it, you walk out
No,
like,
I don't do
and
it.
your
I don't
face turns bright red.
I'm not a milady guy. I don't even wear a hat.
That's why you're so
Hardly
embarrassed that it
ever.
happened. So you leave, and you kind of start noticing, like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like killing it with like this whole charity thing. And so you start like your own,
I've made $75 in a restaurant gift card. I'm not going to declare that I'm killing it.
but you're helping people raise a lot of money, way more than they would have without you. And
Sure, that's
so
great.
you start a like an LLC, kind of like a nonprofit charity thing where you are just raising money, 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 Aaron. And you are developing, and also like, you're developing your act and stuff, you're working on it, so that's
Yeah.
good. Stage time, stage time, as we say. So you start it's called a charity nonprofit group. Um it's called Captain Charity. And Captain Charity is this thing where every week you do a charity show, and from week to week it changes where the money's going to. And your whole thing in the marketing is that like you dress up like a superhero and you're like, I'm Captain Charity, and and this week we're gonna knock out uh poor teeth in the southeastern part of the United States. Big explosion
Or
soaring through the
so,
air.
we're going to, you said solve. We're going to solve poor teeth in the southeastern portion of the United States.
Well, I mean, like, put money towards, people with bad teeth.
Pat,
Captain Charity from week to week has different things, so that's just one week.
this is a weekly show.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
One of them, it's a recovery group for people who had to like they have PTSD from like castrating animals and stuff like for sport. A lot of them are like people who had to do them to like horses or bulls or whatever, and they kind of
Like ranch
have
hand types.
yeah, and so it's just a group for them to come together and talk about it.
And then
And
then we do comedy for them
yeah, well,
while they
you're
deal with
so
firsthand.
no, the money helps them. They're not necessarily there. It's not, these are all like comedy club gigs where it's just like, hey guys, also you happen to be, you know, supporting a good cause. Okay, cool. Let's get the show started. It's like one of those kind of things. So it's not like you're not performing live for these people or at their
Okay.
headquarters or
I
anything
was
like
gonna
that.
say.
No, their
So this
headquarters
is a
is,
regular weekly comedy club show
yeah,
that I put on, and the beneficiary changes each week.
yeah.
Okay. Captain
So
Charity, Jesus Christ.
Captain Charity. And so, yeah, so there's the one for the castration, PTSD guys. Um, you give your money to them, that
What's their
week.
support group called?
No more cuts. C
Yeah.
U T Z.
No.
Yeah, dude. And so, also, but can I tell you something about this group, Aaron? There is a lot of fucking
What?
happening. Yeah, and no more cuts. There's a lot of people hooking up. It's people who, and it kind of makes sense. These are a lot of them are damaged, desperate, broken people just looking for a way to maybe get some control and feel good about themselves. And so, yeah, there's a lot of that happening, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, yeah, it turns out part of the money that you raised from that week, they actually use to buy like, like candles and like, you
Oh
know, lu-
man.
lube and stuff
Lube?
like that. Yeah. And so
Like
like
by the drum.
oh yeah. So you are
So
leaving
wait, so the money I'm giving them is not helping their PTSD or their emotional well-being, but it's just financing their hookup culture.
essentially, yeah.
Ah, that sucks. I mean,
I
good
mean
for them. What?
you find out about it afterward.
Yeah. Oh well.
So you're leaving the gig, you climb into your car and you begin that lonely ride home. Turn on the radio. They're like, this is WLANALAX DJ Jason Light on the FM dial. Up next is Shimmer by Fuel as we
Fuck yeah.
celebrate uh, Fuel Fridays here on WLANALAX.
What does Fuel Fridays mean?
It's kind of like mandatory Metallica or like Get the
Sure.
Lead Out in radio, where you just play rock blocks of Metallica or Led Zeppelin. It's rock blocks of Fuel. And so they do that on Friday. That's like their thing from 7 to 10. It's nothing but Fuel.
You wait 3 hours of fuel.
Yeah, well, there's also, there's commercial breaks and there's also sometimes
Yeah.
Jason like gives out advice and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of Fuel.
How many times do they play Shimmer over that three
It
hours?
it gets played at least 5 times an hour.
Fine.
It's the first time that they've tried this and like
It sounds
you
like they're
actually
only playing Shimmer. It
so
sounds like they're only playing Shimmer.
you're listening to this and you're like, this can't go on.
This
But you're
rock
like,
block.
but you're kind of digging it. Uh you're digging it really, really hard, and you get to the part where they go, it's the seventh time that they've played it. It
Hmm.
gets to the part where he goes lavender and cream, and you
Yeah.
like sing along to it, and you close your eyes when that happens, and you
Yeah.
run a red light and smash into. There's like a truck uh hauling brick walls.
What?
So you run a red light and you crash into one of
Prefab?
those brick walls that it's carting across
God
America.
damn.
And so you wake up and you're like sitting in a hospital bed and you're kind of like, whoa, and you kind of like look down at yourself and you look completely normal, like and you're kind of like, huh? And then this doctor comes in, uh, Dr. Frankenstein. He's like, hello, Aaron. And he comes in and he has like, he kind of like does this thing where he has like a long doctor's coat and he kind of like flips the lapels, you know what I mean? He kind of goes like
Yeah, yeah.
with
He
them.
pops him.
He
Yeah.
comes in, yeah. On his hip is like a little speaker and it's going, we want the funk and give up the funk. Oh, we need the funk. Gotta have the funk. He winks at you. He's like, Aaron,
This guy's
you,
intro music playing on his hip.
yeah. He's like, Aaron, uh, you are a very lucky guy. Most people crashing into a brick wall like that in the middle of an intersection, man, that would be curtains. And he's like, but yeah, other than a few, bumps and bruises and scrapes and stuff, you know, you look okay. He's like, we did have to do, and he's like, yeah, so you've been like in a coma for like, 2 weeks. So your body's like
Two
completely,
weeks.
yeah. But your body's completely healed. You know what I mean by that point? He's like,
Jesus.
he's like, yeah. So, and you know, uh, it's going to be really hard for anyone to tell that you had surgery on your left hand. He's like, yep. I got to tell you, Aaron, we have one of the finest surgeons working in America at this hospital. And I think
Yeah.
he actually wants to come in and say hello.
Oh no.
He's like, Dr. Jeff Leopard.
Oh no.
And in walks this guy. Well, walks is not really what he does. In
Yeah.
swaggers this guy who has like the stage presence of like 1,000 Mick Jaggers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He walks in and he's missing his right hand. All he has is like left hand. He's
Yeah.
the top rated one-handed surgeon in America.
Yeah.
Dr. Jeff Leopard. The way that he talks though is he kind of like, how like when you go and you see like especially one of those 70s 80s bands, you see them live, they kind of have like talk downs in the middle of it and their voice is like super breathy because they're out of breath from singing and rocking and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of talks like that. So he walks in and he's like, hey, it's me, Dr. Jeff Leopard. And he's like, I had to do some minor surgery on your hand, Aaron. He like almost like sachets over to you. Like he just has
Yeah.
like, yeah, just like cock of the walk, this fucking guy. He walks over to you and he kind of like points at your hand and he's like, and you see look down and everything looks completely, your arm looks completely normal. There's like a slight cut, you know what I mean? That you're like, oh, that's like a
Like an
scar.
incision.
Yeah, something like that. And he's like, that's the only evidence I was ever here.
Oh God.
He goes, you're gonna be fine, Aaron, or my name isn't Dr. Jeff Leopard. He leaves. So you leave the hospital with like a clean bill of almost miraculous health.
What do they have to do to my hand?
They just had to like he just had to like sew you up a little bit, you know?
Also, I like from like he had to like sew up a laceration.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you go home and you're walking up to your like apartment and these kids like are playing basketball outside and the ball like rolls over to you and they're like, hey mister, can we have our ball back? And you're like,
Yeah.
definitely. And you pick up the ball and you go to shoot. Normally you favor your right hand, when
Yeah,
you're, shooting
my
threes.
my entire life.
However, there's something instinctual. You almost don't even realize you're
Are
doing
you
it until you
fucking
look at your
kidding me?
follow through. With your left hand, you shoot it. It arcs through the air perfectly. It comes back down. It actually, if it continued on like the arc that it was on, like fully, if it was just like infinite or whatever, it would have formed a perfect circle. And
That's
it
the launch I put on this ball.
uh-huh. And it slides through that fucking hoop. Nothing but net. But you know that rim was yearning for that ball's contact. That's
Jesus
how
Christ.
smooth and almost like magical and lovely that jump shot you did was.
Left-handed.
Yeah. And they're like, one of the kids looks up at you and he goes, "Gee, mister, you must be in the NBA." And you're like, and you go, one of the kids goes, "Yeah, the National Burger League." And everyone laughs.
It's NBL, you fucking idiot. League doesn't start with an A. You jackass. That's what I'd say.
You say that to them, and he starts
Without a
crying and he
doubt.
runs home,
Good. Fuck that kid.
runs home sobbing. So
I just smoked this 3-pointer. Why are you making fun of me?
you go home, and you cook yourself some dinner the entire time favoring that left hand. And you mean to just make yourself like, some spaghetti and some red sauce that you bought from the store. But like
Okay.
it's almost like you're not even paying attention. When you're done, you have cooked yourself like a 4-course Italian meal. And I'm not even including breadsticks in those courses, my friend.
How?
You just kind of look down at your hand, and like it's almost like it like waves back at you almost.
What the fuck is going on with my hand, Matt?
You notice that over the next few weeks that you have like started favoring just your left hand, and you can start doing like pretty incredible things with it, like shooting those really intense perfect 360-degree circle 3-point shot, stuff like that. um like I said, you cook with your left hand, you jacket with your left hand, you
Whoa.
you start like constructing like tables and stuff like that.
A whole new world.
You actually end up like, you've always wanted to learn how to play like the guitar. So you buy a guitar, you go to like a guitar center, and you pick up a like you're like, "Oh, I'd like to try that guitar." You like point up, and the sales associate is like, "Right away, sir." And he goes to grab it, and you go, "No, no, no, to the left of that one." And he's like, "Whoa." He grabs that left-handed guitar and gives it to you.
Why is he shocked?
Because even though, like, he knows that left-handed people exist, every time this guy has seen somebody play guitar left-handed, he's always like in amazement. He's always like, that guy is
Guy
really
sucks.
talented. It's just he knows it's dumb. It's just the way he's always felt.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So it's like this jet black flying V, and you just shred.
So it's not just that I'm like competent with my left hand, but my left hand is allowing me to learn new skills at an advanced rate.
Yeah, things have never been more passionate between you and you.
Whoa.
Know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
come on. More passionate?
More
I don't know what
intense.
you're saying. More
So
intense?
yeah. So
I'm having like a
there
sexual reawakening with my left hand.
yeah, pretty much.
Jesus, Pat.
So you end up like shredding, and these guys like look over and they see you, and they walk over and they're like, "Dude, you fucking rule." And you're like, "Thanks, fellas." You end up buying the guitar. The guys give you their demo CD, and they're like, "Well, what's in, we're an all left-handed band. and we're actually looking for a new guitar player. You should listen to our demo, dude.
Oh man, how convenient.
And you go, yeah, I will, guys. It's nice to meet you. You guys all put out your left hands to shake all at the same time, and you guys just sort of you take like your left hand and that long middle finger of yours. You guys all just kind of meet in the middle.
What?
With middle finger is your longest finger, and so all of like your tips of your fingertips meet like in the like that's how you guys greet each other. Your left middle fingertips touch.
All right.
You listen to the demo. It's called they're called the they're called the Left Hand Band. And they I gotta be honest with you, Aaron, they fucking rule.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
What kind of music is this?
It's like balls to the wall, unapologetic rock and roll. Like AC/DC kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just like we're going to take rock music and we're going to like distill it down to its most basic and its most winning formula. And just like AC/DC, it fucking rules. So you join them.
Yeah.
You join the left
I'm only
hand band.
joining if we're doing like a ZZ Top style guitar spin because it's all facing the same direction. I want that. If we're all going to be left-handed, let's make a show out of it.
Yeah. You bring that up to them and they're like, fucking, that's an incredible idea. So you have brought a new level of like showmanship to the left hand band, and
Okay.
you guys are starting to get noticed. You're starting to play gigs all over Los Angeles. Um, a few times, like people from like famous people from bands will come and watch you. So like that's how you guys are starting to get some buzz. You know how like the Gaslight Anthem they became big because people were like, "Hey, sometimes Bruce Springsteen sings with these guys."
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's kind of
I
like
do like
that.
that. I do like them.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they fucking rule. But
Yeah.
that's the thing is famous people start showing up to these performances and they start like singing along with you. So people were like, you know, like Bono came one time. He sang like you guys just played a bunch of like covers and he just like sang along with you guys. And it was one of the most fun gigs you've ever done.
Bono, huh?
Bono, yeah. At the end of it, you're like, whoa, like, yeah, yo, sir, I can't thank you enough. And he's like, yeah, I don't, hey, it's all good. And he's like, well, uh, I gotta go. Like leaves. You're like, all right.
Okay.
He
Thanks,
leaves.
Bono.
He opens the door, and like as the door closes, you hear like a voice be like, oh, there he is, me lad. Let's get going. And then like the door closes, and you're like,
Oh
whoa.
God.
So the left hand band is really making a name for themselves.
Okay.
You one night you guys are playing like a an out of town gig outside of Los Angeles. Uh Playing a gig in kind of this like odd part of town. It's called Softville. Softville is a rural, sort of isolated part of town
Yeah.
where you get the feeling that there's a lot of stuff there that they either don't know about and they don't want to know about. You know, they keep to themselves. You don't ask why there's so many churches in such a small part of town, why there's so many butcher shops. It's always weirded you out. There's not a single playground in all of Softville, but there are 3 Chuck E. Cheese's.
Some places don't have, that's that civic infrastructure. Some places don't invest in parks.
So you guys
But three
are
Chuck
in
E. Cheese is excessive.
Softville performing, and you guys are like, hey, you know, you guys are like, hey, the lead singer is this guy. He just goes by Lefty. He's like,
Of course.
all right. He's like, all right, guys, like, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. And we are here to actually announce for the first time that we are going to be recording our debut album, The Left Hand Path, very soon. And everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's pumped for this left-handed band to
Yeah, the left.
finally put out a record.
Yeah. Their long gestating, long rumored debut record, The Left Hand Path. And so you're like, fuck yeah. Like, you know, he said it finally. Now we have to do it, type of thing. So you guys are like, yeah, we're gonna book some studio time. This is gonna like be awesome. You go back to your hotel that you guys are staying at. Uh it's called Heartbeat Hotel.
Hmm.
And the outside it says Hotel, Heartbeat Hotel. And then there's one of those things where there's like a those blinking lights that um pop in and out, forming like shapes and stuff. It pops out and it's just like a heart,
Yeah,
like but like an actual, not like a cartoon heart.
like an
It's a
anatomical heart.
yeah, it's a light display of a actual anatomical heart, like pumping blood. So when you
Great.
drive past it, you look up and see it, and it's like,
Horrifying.
yeah,
Fucking horrifying.
yeah. But it is a very nice hotel. I got to be honest with you. It's like, so you're staying there. You have your own room, room 666.
Awful.
You're like, all right, guys, like, good night. You guys all stay on different floors. Not because there's any kind of animosity. It's just like their thing is like, look, Aaron, we learned a long time ago that we work best and we tour best when we kind of treat this like a job. You know what I mean? So like, we're gonna go up there, we're gonna rehearse, we're gonna go up there, we're gonna rock, and then we're all gonna kind of go our separate ways. You know, that's like their thing.
All right, that's fine.
You feel like there's a story behind that, but you don't push it as the new guy. You know,
Sure. Why would I push it? Yeah.
so you open up the door to room 666 and
Yeah.
let the door close behind you. You turn on the light, and standing in your room
What the
are
fuck?
like a whole group of like old school like knights. And they're holding
Nights.
like, yeah, like lances, and like, you know, there's a bunch of like, you know, there's like great pageantry and things like that. There's like, you know, they have roasted fowl and shit like that. They have like a whole feast set up for you and stuff. One of them seems to be like the leader. He's holding like this sword, the color of bone, in his left hand. He looks at you and he goes, hello, Aaron. We are the Knights Templar. 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 He goes, Aaron, through no fault of your own, you're
Gotta
serving
love
a.
when it starts with that. Gotta love when it starts with through no fault of your own. Whatever's what the fuck?
You have joined with.
I'm not joining anybody.
He goes, look, the Left Hand Band are actually a bunch of you know, they worship Baphomet, and what they're doing is they're going around, you know, playing these songs, and they're promoting, you know, the left hand path, and it's causing like problems in the occult world. He's like,
What the
Aaron,
fuck does that even mean?
if you record this album, and like you guys know that if you put this album out, like at the rate of success you guys are having locally, there is a buzz about you. Like this could sell easily, like on an independent label, like 300,000 copies, you know?
Yeah.
And in today's age, that's and like a bunch of streams, you know what I mean? In today's
Yeah.
age, like 300,000 that you guys are going to ship is like a huge number, you know?
Yeah.
So he's like, Aaron, if you record that album and like that number of people buy it, he's like, it's going to open up a dimension and let Baphomet through. He's like, Aaron, you have to stop this in the name of God. And then all the other notes, all the other knights at the same time go, God.
I am not the only person responsible for this. Why is this falling on me? I'm the new guy in this band. I know as little about it as anybody.
Yeah.
You can't tell me the day before we're going to record this fucking record that I can't do it because it'll open a gate for Baphomet.
He's like, Aaron, I'm sad to tell you that that's exactly what I'm here to say.
Well, then I'm not. You know how fucking unbelievable that sounds.
He's like,
You know,
Aaron, have you ever noticed anything kind of like odd about like some of the songs that you guys sing? And like you kind of think about it and you're like, yeah, I guess some of the lyrics are like definitely, you know, of a strange and esoteric nature. Like you have a one
maybe,
song called Open Up the Gates for Baphomet. And so he's like, he cites that along with a few other of your lyrics. He's like, Aaron, I know it sounds crazy, but like this cannot happen. In the name of God. And they all go, God. Maybe you've heard of him.
I'm not a religious person.
Yeah. He
I'm
goes,
not going to do something in the name of God.
he's like, Aaron,
I tell him I was like, if you have to do this, then you need to figure out another way because I'm not giving up the chance of a lifetime for this fucking thinly veiled like dumbass idea that you just expect me to believe that if we create a fucking record that I'm not doing that. I would ask the guys in the band, like, hey, are you attempting to open a portal to summon Baphomet?
yeah, you get in your group chat that you guys have. It's called the Lefty Lads is the name of your group chat. And
Awful.
you text him out like, hey guys, random question, but like, are you trying to open up a portal for Baphomet? And then like Lefty responds and he's like in the song that we sing, LOL. He's like,
And
no,
I would
Aaron.
say, okay, because I was just told by a group of knights that recording this record will do just that.
He he just like like he does the thing where you click on their text, so then like you can write like you can heart it or do like a thumbs up or thumbs down, and he just clicks haha.
I say I'm not joking, guys. I'm not joking.
Um, the bass player, you don't know what his name is exactly, like, but he goes by Dorf. He goes, he writes, Aaron, I
Dwarf
can,
on bass.
yeah, he's like, I can assure you, Aaron, that we are not trying to open up a portal for Baphomet. He's like, they're just song lyrics. It's not the first time we've been asked this before, though. So, you know, we're used to it. Judgment and stuff. Send.
I go, great. Thanks for confirmation. Can't wait to rock out with you guys.
He responds, fuck yeah, brother. We love having you in the band.
Probably love being in the band.
So the next day, you guys begin recording what becomes hit, the smash independent hit of the year, The Left Hand Path. You guys are doing a gig. You're doing an outdoor gig to celebrate the like that day. There's going to be somebody purchasing the 300,000th copy. You guys have kept the last one for that fucking concert. So you guys start off the show. You guys like play some of your songs, and then after like about 3 songs, Lefty's like, "All right, I know why you guys are here." And he pulls out the CD, and everyone's like, And he's like, number 300,000. We couldn't have done this without you guys. And everyone's like, yeah. The drummer stands up. He's known as Lucky Jack. And he like points his stick out at the crowd, like pointing at them, like you guys
Yeah, yeah.
are the rock stars. This
Yeah.
this guy
Does he
comes out
say
on
that?
he, he mouths it.
Lucky
They
Jack.
they show it on the big screen.
Ugh.
So this guy comes out to purchase the 300,000th record. Dude walks out. They're like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "My name is Earl Girl." And they're like, "Earl,
Earl
well,"
Girl.
they're like, "Welcome to the Rock Zone, my friend." And he's like, "I can't wait." He gives them like
Earl Girl.
yeah, he gives them like a bunch. He pays with a bunch of $2 bills. Um, and then like he gets change and receipt and stuff like that. And he like walks off like pumping his fist, and everyone's like, "Yeah, Earl." And then you're like, "All right." And then on to our next hit, opening up a portal for Baphomet. Da, 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 bow, 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 bow. And then like a portal opens in like right in
Great.
front of the stage.
Are
Everybody who's
you
standing
fucking
there,
kidding me?
everybody who's standing there falls through it, and you hear like, "Ah!" And you're like, huh? And then you see like a gigantic hand
I'm getting
come
the
out.
fuck out of there. I'm dropping this fucking guitar and I'm running away because we played a fucking generic ass riff. It's been played a
So
bajillion times before.
you try to like turn and run, but it's almost like you're frozen in place because out of this portal comes out this like pretty gigantic being. It's like the size of Galactus practically, and it has like kind of like a goat's head, like a really angry goat's head with like
The
a
fuck?
star like carved into the middle of it. It's got
Yeah,
like a human body,
yeah.
the wings of a fallen angel, and instead of uh like feet and toes, it has like cloven hooves, you know? And it kind of like looks around, and then it says, "This is gonna rock." And then Baphomet destroys the entire earth. You let
What
loose
the
the
fuck?
demon Baphomet. He
Yeah,
destroys all life on the planet Earth. He
great.
hunts down pretty much every single person who doesn't die in the immediate wreckage. So, well, when he comes out, when a being of Baphomet's power that comes from a different reality comes into ours, it kind of like just causes all these problems. So there's a bunch of
Yeah,
there's like a bunch of simultaneous storms that destroy all the major cities and stuff like that.
great.
Um, up is down, black is white. You know,
Cool.
so within about 8 hours, all of human life on Earth is exterminated. You're actually
Fantastic.
the last one kept alive
Ow. I was right there. I should have been the
because
first one to go.
they're there are a couple people who like they like worship Baphomet on Earth. They still get killed too, but they like look at you and they're like, "Thank you, oh prophet of Baphomet."
I didn't do it. I
So
played
they
a
keep
fucking
so they keep you alive to the last one, and they kind of like look down at you and they're just
yeah,
covered in blood, and they
great.
look at you and you go, "All right, well, at least I'll face my death with dignity." Um, you fart and then your pants fall down. You're wearing white boxers with red hearts on them,
Who fucking cares?
and then it crushes you with a hammer.
Great.
The last remaining human consciousness on Earth crushed.
Cool. It sucked.
You released half of it. They tried to warn you.